Hello everyone, my name is Ian Heffley and I am one of the admissions counselors here at SIT Study Abroad. Thank you very much, Shelley. I am here just to walk you through a brief application process. I'll take about 15-20 minutes to walk through the application process and then take any questions at the end. Another reminder for Avery, Jennifer, and Shelley that there are questions, a questions field that you can use on the right-hand side of your screen to type any questions. Please let me know if you have any issues in hearing me or need me to repeat anything, and I will do so. So if you are in front of your computer, we can follow along together at studyabroad.sit.edu, and this is our main landing page for the entire program portfolio that we have. Up in the top right, you'll see an Apply Login page. Please bookmark this, as this is where you will always return once you start your application. If you already have an account, you will be able to sign in. I do recognize some of the names that are in attendance today, so you probably already do have an account. But if you don't, you can start an account by filling in your first name, last name, and email and clicking Create Account, or continue with your account through the bottom. Once you go in, if you haven't done so already, we'll need your personal information so we know who we're talking to and where in the country you're located. That's under the Personal Information tab here on the screen. If you go through, you'll see it's very basic. This is personal information, emergency contact info, very important information for us to have. Once you fill that out, please continue to the My Applications section. The My Applications will be your home away from home as you're applying to SIT Study Abroad. We have it in a handy checklist here that as you fulfill the different sections of the application, they'll get checked off. You'll see short answer and essay, capstone, and student disclosure and transcript information, as well as the letter of reference, are not there. But an important thing to remember is those get updated as you apply and fill out sections to the program. Another important thing to remember, anytime you're uploading something to the program portal, please make sure it is in PDF format. Program selection here, you want to make sure, as we all fall under the umbrella of world learning, you'll want to make sure that you apply to the undergraduate study abroad programs, which are called SIT Study Abroad. The Experiment in International Living is our summer abroad programs for high schoolers, and then we have a master's degree and certificate programs run out of the SIT Graduate Institute. We do need, as you'll see here, information in regards to your college, degree, majors, and expected graduation date. This is also kept on record, so we make sure that we know where to send the transcript after you have completed your application and your semester with SIT Study Abroad. Now, a big question we always get is, can I apply to multiple programs? Yes, you can, but you cannot have more than one application open per any given semester. The program choice here at the bottom of the screen is where you will be able to indicate the term you want to study abroad, your first choice program, and your second choice program. As you'll see in the entire SIT Study Abroad portal, that any of the hyperlinks are coded in orange. That means they're clickable hyperlinks, and I would always recommend that you look at the enrollment status of your programs, because we do operate on a rolling admissions basis, and that can mean that programs will fill up sooner rather than later. And once a program is full, we accept a wait list, but very infrequently do the wait lists actually move. Now, once you have gotten past that page, you'll have an application at a started application. You cannot start another application at all for the same semester. Important application information for you is a rolling admissions basis. That means we accept up to a certain deadline that we have to have for logistical purposes, administrative purposes, or visa purposes. So we try and make that deadline as close to the program as possible, but sometimes you have to have an extensive visa application. Our admissions criteria are threefold. You have to have a grade point average of at least 2.5 or whatever your school dictates. And you have to complete at least 2 semesters of college-level coursework since you have started the application. From there, you also have to fulfill any and all application requirements for your study abroad office there at your home institution. So after that, make sure that you have the components that were on the checklist before. An official transcript from your school. We do not request that on your behalf. And then you will need a letter of reference and approval of participation. Here's some information in regards to general reminders. You do not need a passport to apply to the program, but if you don't have a passport, please make sure that you apply for one ASAP, because passports can be a time-consuming ordeal to receive, and you want to make sure you have no roadblocks as you're applying to study abroad. We have a short answer and an essay. Keep in mind that if the program portal is inactive for 30 minutes, it will automatically log you out. That's why at the bottom of the page you'll see we have a save button. In the short answer on the top, this is to briefly describe your family or home community. This is just to let us know where you come from. We're an experiential learning institute, and since we're based here in Vermont and don't get to meet you face-to-face very often as we're reviewing applications, we want to get a holistic picture of the applicant and have that as holistic a picture as possible. The statement of interest essay, we basically want to know, and this one is 300 words maximum, we basically want to know why you want to study abroad on this program and what your connections to the interests are in the theme of the program. I would recommend at this point to write these outside of our program portal and then copy and paste them in, unless you have them totally formulated in your head and can type them into this without issue. Please click Save once you're finished and click Next to continue on. If you're applying to an SIT IHP comparative program, you'll have another section where you need to include a short paper. It should be no more than 5 pages, and this is a writing sample. The capstone is what SIT Study Abroad really sets us apart from the program. So SIT Study Abroad has an independent study project proposal that will really have you think about what research you want to conduct, in what field, and how you want to do it. We also have an internship application. If you'll see there, if you click on I would prefer to pursue an internship, that will bring you through a different field, which I will show you shortly. But if you want to apply for an internship, you need to make sure that your school will approve internships, because if your school does not approve internships, SIT Study Abroad cannot accept you onto the internship section. So in the project proposal, what you really are looking for is 200 to 300 words of what you want to do, how you want to do it, and we basically want to see that you've given some thought to how you will spend the last 4 to 5 weeks of the program. Here is an example of a proposal. I'm going to put myself on mute for a second and see if there are any questions thus far. Not seeing any questions up till now, I'll make sure we move on. Now, the next page here will bring you to the internship section. So if you click that, you'll see in red it says Consult with your home school to make sure that the application is permissible for the internships abroad. Internships abroad, you need to upload your resume, PDF preferred as always, and then you need to answer these 2 short questions. Keeping in mind ethical concerns that pertain here in the States also pertain overseas because we are an American institution, so we abide by the ethics and local review boards of both the U.S. and the host country. The next page will bring you to language abilities. For certain Latin America programs, there are Spanish requirements. For programs within different parts of the world, there may be different language requirements, which you can always check with your admissions counselor, but what you are showing here is just any language background that you may have. I highly recommend clicking Save between every aspect or every page and stage of the application so you don't lose your work and have to go back. The homestay letter here is required for applications that require a language proficiency. This is for all Latin America programs except for Panama, and there are some other programs as well. For those programs that don't have language proficiency requirements, then this is part of the application after you have been offered admission to the program. Here is an example of it being written in Spanish. For Latin America, very often the letter will be written in Spanish, but for other programs, if you are fluent enough in Arabic or French, you can write it for my regions, but usually it's written in English because we have a homestay coordinator in each country who is able to translate the letters if necessary. A letter of reference here. This is how we do the letter of references now. You provide the name, email, relationship, and you verify the email of someone who is willing to write a letter of reference for you. It's very important that you click the submit button there, because if you just fill out those fields and click next, the letter of reference will not get triggered and you won't be able to get a reference returned to you. Now, the approval of participation is the same way. You need to click on a counselor's name of someone you have worked with on there. If you go to a bigger school and don't recognize any of the names, check with your counselor and ask them which one, your homeschool counselor, and ask them which one to choose. Again, it's the same. If you don't click the send request button there will be issues and they won't get the request from us. The student disclosure form is for you to fill out in regards to the agreement there. Transcript information. Again, this is where we need to send your transcript after you have completed SIT study abroad, semester abroad. It is important to realize that we require an official transcript from your home institution in order to review your application, and we do not request that from you, from your home institution. You have to do that. If you're interested in applying to SIT Study Abroad scholarships, please check the box at the top. If you have any of those affiliations or have received an application fee coupon code, please fill that in there. And we take electronic signatures at the end. Click Save. Click Proceed to next page to submit your application. Do not leave it hanging, because we have no way of seeing that you have filled everything out but have not submitted the application. You will be required to pay a $50 application fee. We prefer it by debit or credit card here. If you are not sent to this page, that means we have a billing arrangement with your school. Once you click Submit there, it'll bring you back to this page, and you'll see circled in yellow at the top, it's incomplete. It is submitted, but it is incomplete because we have not received the academic reference or the official transcript yet. So there's no need to call that it was submitted, but it's still saying incomplete until you've seen the bottom requests completed. The complete application requires the short essay and capstone, an official transcript, a recommendation from someone who has given you a letter grade, an approval of participation from your school, and the $50 application fee. For some programs, you may have to write a writing sample or a Dear Homestay family letter. Passport copies need to come in for IHP programs because there are a couple different visas that need to be applied for, and you need a passport copy upon arrival there. And the last one is the resume for internships. But remember, internships need to be approved by your school before you can apply for them through SIT Study Abroad. Here is a brief admissions timeline. I'm going to put myself on mute for a minute to go and check the questions panel, and I will be right back. Seeing no questions, I'll go through the different stages. Most of you right now, I believe, are at new. If you move on to started application, that means you've given us some basic information. Once you have filled out the application and we are waiting for pieces to arrive at SIT, you've paid the $50 application fee. That's when you're at incomplete application. Once all the pieces from your school have arrived at SIT, then we get that to complete application. After you have been reviewed, you then have 2 weeks to turn in your confirmation materials. After you have paid the deposit and turned in all your confirmation materials, then that is when you're at a confirmed spot. Moving to the next page here. Here are some important dates for programs. It's important to remember that summer opens on September 15th of the previous year. Fall opens on December 15th of the previous year. So if you're looking for fall of 2018, that will open December of 2017. If you're looking for summer of 2018, that opens September of this year. If you're looking for spring of 2018, that is already open, and we will submit or accept applications until November 1st of this year. Lastly, here are my team here and me for all of the regions that SIT Study Abroad offers. All right then, everyone, we've come to the end today. If you have no other questions, I wish you good afternoon and thank you very much for attending.